Hey, Marcus Washington, MTC Media here. Georgetown just wrapping up practice as they continue to prep for opening night on Monday. First of all, the big news right before practice was Constanza committing to Georgetown, the top 20 rank player in his class, played at Spire Academy on the AAU trail. He was Pro 16 team scooped. 6'8" forward. Constanza goes to the basket with a high level of physicality. He finishes through contact, something that you saw out of Ed Cooley's best teams out there at Providence. He has the foundation to be a legitimate three-level scorer in the Big East. Goes to the basket. He has a mid-range pull-up. Of course, you know, he can hit threes. Of course, what I tell people a lot with high school three-point shooters, there's still going to be adjustments, even the best ones. There's going to be adjustments of when and where you get that shot in college. But he has the mechanics and the foundation to be a three-level scorer, which is what you want. So for all the Georgetown fans who said, hey, when are we going to get a big-time recruit? You got someone in the top 20 this morning. As far as the Morgan State prep, you saw some of it today. The ball movement in practices continue to improve. Look, it's a big difference from last year, and that's not a criticism of last year. Remember, last year's team had 2 NBA players on it. This is a different type of team. It's more of a sum of all parts team, which means the ball has to move. Guys got to do off-ball screening, their off-ball movements really count. There's a lot of actions in it. You saw Kentucky kind of struggle guarding those actions, but the sum of all parts is what most college teams are, at least the better ones who aren't, you know, like the Dukes of the world who are stacking in 5, 6, 7, 5 stars. For Georgetown in this offense, you expect for on most nights Malik Mack to be the leading scorer, compete to be a leading scorer, but there's 3 or 4 players on this team that on any given night can be the leading scorer just because of their skill set and what's being run here, whether it's Mack, whether it's Caleb Williams, whether it's KJ Lewis. When healthy, it could be Langston Love. It could be one of the guys inside. It could be Mulready on a night where he gets on a heater from the three-point line. So that does take a lot of pressure off of what you've seen in the first 2 years, where sometimes there was an over-dependence on maybe 1 or 2 individuals scoring. Even though you might not have the guy, what you do have is a staff that schemes to be in a 5-man offense and not a 1 or 2-man offense, and guys who are willing to buy in and play in that offense. As far as the final thoughts on Kentucky, the 2 things that have been said the most is, 1, Georgetown's physicality. I think Kentucky felt it. I don't think Kentucky was prepared for it. They were almost like, whoa, isn't this an exhibition? And Georgetown was ready to bring that fight to them, which, frankly, we've been waiting for a generation for this program to do that. And the second thing was the defensive rating was better in the Kentucky game than in the George Washington game. Some of the things that they worked on in between the two to kind of shore it up. Guys made good adjustments as coaching staff made an adjustment. As what I spoke about in the wrap-up, you know, Kentucky was 7 for 17, I think, in the first half from 3. They were 0 for 13 in the second half. There were some things that was adjusted, and the players took to it, which is very important. It's why those exhibitions are so important as opposed to maybe a closed scrimmage or a secret scrimmage. It is playing those game situations. Remember early on, Georgetown's long misses ended up getting Kentucky out running, and they got some good looks. You notice as the game went on, that started to subside some. So the guys are taking to what the coaching staff are saying, and they're making the adjustments. I've sat many of these practices, you can see how well this staff teaches, and the guys are starting to soak it up. So this is our report here today on this Saturday afternoon, where I bet you most of you are watching college football right now. It's Marcus Washington, MTC Media.